Bernie Sanders is to end his presidential campaign. Bernie Sanders announces the end of his 2020 run and said that his movement had won his party's ideological fight. Sanders suspends his bid for president, bringing to an end a campaign which casts healthcare as human right, seems to give power and a platform to the voices of working people, and succeeded in reshaping the Democratic Party's policy platform but fell far short of victory when voters across the country cast their ballots in the running year. Please don't forget to subscribe our channel and share it. Press the bell icon to subscribe our channel. As the COVID-19 virus endemic has shut down much of the American life over the last month, Sanders has been facing strict constraints on his ability to comparing at increasingly impossible odds in a Democratic presidential primary against Joe Biden that has been all but over for weeks. Speaking from Burlington, Vermont, the state where he has represented Vermont in the Senate and the House of Representatives for 3 decades. In a live-stream direct-to-camera address to supports, Sanders announced very difficult and painful decision, vowing to continue his fight for progressive ideas in partnership with the Biden campaign and at the planned Democratic National Convention in August. Sanders said, "Together we have transformed American consciousness as to what kind of nation we can become," adding a recitation of one of his favorite quotations, "It always seems impossible until it is done," a line attributed to Nelson Mandela. He also said, "The future of the country is with our ideas." The timing of the suspension, one day after a Wisconsin primary put lives at a risk as voters showed up to vote in masks and rubber gloves on Tuesday, still came as a surprise stop to a 14-month presidential campaign.
We've got to take on the whole damn 1%.
We must make certain that this health and economic crisis is not another money-making opportunity for corporate America.
According to a person familiar with the open posts, the Sanders campaign was hiring new employees as of Tuesday. It's the end to an odyssey for Sanders that took him from obscurity to national fame, transforming Democratic politics in the process. 5 years ago, only a small group of reports and onlookers joined him on a lawn in Washington, when first time he announced his intention to run for president and ensure debate of progressive policy ideas.
Today, with your support and the support of millions of people throughout our country, we begin a political revolution.
Since then, Sanders has raised hundreds of millions of dollars, spoken to hundreds of thousands of people in venues across the country, and won more 24 states and the votes of millions. His 15 minutes video address from Burlington took the shape at points of an abridged stump speech, a fitting coda for a politician who has preached the same message for some 50 years, starting as a third-party candidate in 1970s Vermont. Sanders said on Wednesday few would deny that over the course of past 5 years, our movement has won the ideological struggle, citing broad support for the increased access to health care and a higher minimum wage. It was not long ago that people considered these ideas radical and fringe. Today they are mainstream ideas, and many of them are already being implemented in cities and states across the country. That is what we have accomplished together.
No president alone can do what has to be done. And what has to be done is that millions of people have got to stand up.
In this year's contests, Sanders retained vibrant support from young Democrats and built support among Latino voters that was not existing in 2016. But after a massive win in Nevada, after rising to the top of polls and becoming the race's clear frontrunner, Sanders slipped in South Carolina and Super Tuesday, as the candidate field weakened. Black and more moderate white voters combined behind a single candidate. Biden, a fixture of Democratic establishment politics with whom Sanders disagreed but generally he respects, will almost surely secure the Democratic nomination when party members plan to arrange later this year for their national convention. Even as advisors insisted him to go tougher at Biden, the Vermont senator fought. He had a personal respect for his friend the former vice president, displeasing some staffers back on January when he decided to personally express regret to Biden after one of his proxies, Zephyr Teachout, wrote an op-ed about his corruption problem. In a declaration sent to the report soon after Sanders spoke, Biden admired the senator's campaign. "Bernie has done something uncommon in politics," he said. "He hasn't just run a political campaign, he has created a Biden requested to both Sanders supporters and to Bernie and Jane Sanders themselves. But we also want you to know, I'll be reaching out to you. You will be heard by me. As you say," he said, offering a tribute to the Sanders campaign slogan, "Not me, us." Calling Biden a decent man, Sanders said Wednesday he would still continue on the ballot in the upcoming primary states in an effort to collect envoys and build power for his movement heading into the summer. "We must continue working to assemble as many envoys as possible at the Democratic convention, where we will be able to concert substantial influence over the party platform and other functions," Sanders said in Burlington. Then together, standing united, we will go forward to defeat Donald Trump, the most dangerous president in modern American history.
Enough is enough,
he later said. "While the path may be slower now, we will change this nation." Stay tuned with us for upcoming informative videos.